Hey artists, this is how you will continue with your Heroes and Villains gridding project. So some things that you're going to need handy would be your pencil and your ruler for the gridding. A big eraser is always helpful. You need your image that you're going to be working from with the grid already on it. And first things first, you're going to have to choose what size paper you want to use for your artwork. So you can do 9 by 12. Sorry, I'm not zoomed out enough that you can see how big this is, or 11 by 14. The difference is not a lot. It's about 2 inches on either side. And they come from these pads of paper. So they should be perfectly 9 inches by 12 inches or 11 by 14. And it's also very thick, very nice paper. So you will get one and exactly one. The back side is your only do-over. Work carefully so you do not make mistakes. Now, let's start with, for example, if I wanted to do the 9 by 12. So this is a smaller paper, but it is still larger overall than my printout. My printout is, if you don't count the margins, 8 boxes across by 10 boxes tall, which is 8 inches wide by 10 inches tall. This paper is 9 inches wide by 12 inches tall. So you're going to have to decide where your character sits on this paper. Do you want them up in the top corner, the bottom left corner, bottom right corner, bottom left, and so on. So pick a corner you want them situated in. So since my figure is facing like this way, I would want to have open space down here. I want her in the top right corner. The other thing is some of these templates have empty rows or columns. So on her right side, there's absolutely nothing in this row of boxes, and there's nothing in this row of boxes. So what I suggest you do is fold your paper over and ignore those empty rows of boxes. There's no point in drawing those empty boxes, then erasing those empty boxes and having erase marks left on your paper for empty boxes. So in fact, the only space I need to grid is 6 inches wide or 6 boxes wide by 10 boxes tall or 10 inches tall. And I'm going to start that in my top right corner. Then I'll have this empty space over here to the side that I can add more background details in. To grid that space and only that space is pretty simple. You're going to take that ruler, and since you know that your space here is 6 inches wide and you can check it on your ruler, then you want to come 6 inches out from the edge. So you can put, if it makes it easier, 0 on your edge of your paper, and you want to come 6 inches out, but you also need all of those 1-inch marks in between. So go ahead and do your little tick marks like we practiced already at each of the big numbers, and you never try to just draw with just one mark. So I'm going to slide further down the paper, put my 0 on the edge of the paper that I decided was where my person was going to be situated, and mark out those 6 boxes. Now if you didn't get to cut off any, you would need to go all the way out to 8, but I have those extra spaces that have nothing in them, so I'm not going to draw them. Now I'm going to very lightly draw those grid lines all the way down the paper. And then I will need to go ahead and do the same thing. This ruler has a bump in it. The other direction until I have boxes that exactly match the number of boxes that are on my template. So now I have 6 inches across, 6 boxes, squares, and then 10 inches down. You see my 10 boxes or squares, they should match up. So if yours came out exactly like the printed ones, which are computer generated, then you did it absolutely right. So now I can use these to go box by box and grid my character over, then change up the costume and add my own thing. Now, if you decided to do the larger paper, the 11 by 14, it still works exactly the same way. You're just going to decide which corner you want your character to sit in, top, left, right, whatever. and then use that corner or that edge as your 0 when you start measuring it and marking out your boxes. It's the exact same concept. You're just going to end up with more empty space with no grid lines that you then add your own background designs and your own information into. Remember to use your boxes when you're drawing to keep things lined up, even if it helps you to go square by square and really focus in on one square at a time. But that is all you need to know about drawing the grid on your big background paper. Good luck.